liberals keep asking, well, why can't we have a discussion? Let's have the discussion with truth, information, facts, and data that the media will never tell you about in this country. Democrats say gun control leads to less violence. Well, if that's the case, then I'd like them to explain why cities with the highest murder rates in this country, with the strictest gun control in this country, that have run by Democrats for decades in this country, let's look at the numbers. For example, murder rate 2016, all these cities have Democratic mayors, have been run by liberals for years. Yet, when you look, their crackdowns on the Second Amendment have done nothing to stop the violence. Liberals, they also don't want you to know about these shocking statistics. For example, during the Obama presidency, over 3,900 murders in his adopted hometown of Chicago. We ran the names once on this program while everybody else ignored it. More than 18,000 people in Chicago who were shot only during the last 6 years of Obama's presidency. I only heard Obama talk about it, what, 2, 3, 4 times max during his presidency? Did you remember hearing people on the left speaking out about this out-of-control violence happening day in and day out in the city of Chicago? I don't remember. Now, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on about this issue. And we also have some charts provided to us by John Lott Jr. He's the president of Crime Prevention Research and that center. He's an expert on the issue. He'll join us in a few minutes tonight. Now, look at this chart about the Chicago murder rate. Now, relative to the other 9 largest U.S. cities, the yellow vertical line that you see there indicates when they ban handguns. And as you can see, after gun control, over the years, the murder rate went up. Now, the same goes for Washington, D.C. As John Lott's research shows, D.C.'s murder rate relative to the other 48 large U.S. cities, excluding Chicago, went up after they banned handguns. We also have examples from foreign countries in case you're interested. Remember, after Great Britain, they banned handguns. The homicide rate, it spiked and then slowly began to go down, only slowly. And here's another example from Ireland. After that country passed gun control legislation, the murder rate actually increased. And then there's Jamaica. Look at how the murder rate also increased after they put gun control in place. There's also this revealing statistic out of France. They have some of the strictest gun control laws on the planet. And France has had more casualties from public shootings in 2015 than during the entire Obama presidency. The figures, the truth, the data, it shows otherwise. Let's take a look. This chart shows violent crime before and after right to carry laws were enacted in the United States. And as you can see, having more citizens that are armed leads to a decrease in violent crime. Those are the facts. Here's another graphic on murder rates before and after right to carry laws were put into place. Now also, the U.S. murders have plunged as a result. And as John Lott Jr. points out, as more people in fact carry guns, you see further drops in both of those statistics. Now this is why this show will never be like the rest of the mainstream media. We actually care about truth, about facts. The left, they don't believe in your right as the American people to be responsible, that you have the right to defend yourself, your children, in your home, in your community. They only seem to believe in big government, not the individual, which is why they try to exploit these tragedies and rush to judgment to push what is a radical, rigid, leftist agenda that infringes on your constitutional rights, even though it is not supported by data, not supported by facts. It's beyond shameful. Another question, how many of these celebrities, how many of these late night comedians, how many of these politicians, when they go out in public, how often do they have armed guards with them or bodyguards with them? Really? The rest of us, most Americans, they can't afford that. Joining us now with reaction, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, John Lott, and Fox News legal analyst, Bob Massey. John, I'll start with you. You provided a lot of this research. How many years have you been investigating more guns, less crime? And I know you have many variations of your book that has come out.
I've been doing crime for about 30 years. Concealed handguns and other types of gun crimes I've been looking at for about 20 years or so.
All right, and you know, when you say this, it's almost like it's Alka-Seltzer in water. You say, if there's more guns, if people have a right to carry, if people have a right to defend themselves, there's going to be less crime. And in a liberal's mind, they said, that's just impossible. That's illogical. Explain why, in fact, your data proves out what to be true.
Well, look, I think people understand you can deter criminals if you have higher arrest rates, higher conviction rates, longer prison sentences, the death penalty, things that make it riskier for criminals to go and commit crime. But the fact that a victim might be able to go and defend themselves also makes it riskier for criminals to go and commit crime. I just give you a simple example. There's something called hot burglaries. These are burglaries that occur while the residents are in the dwelling. In the United States, only about 13% of burglaries occur while the residents are there. In a country like England, it's about 60%. And there's surveys that are done of burglars who have been caught in different countries. And American burglars spend about twice as long casing a home before they break in compared to their British counterparts. And the reason why they give it is that they're worried about getting shot. If nobody's at home, they don't have to worry about that. But if somebody's home and they break in, they have to worry about the person defending themselves. Their British counterparts don't have to worry about that, and so they don't care really whether somebody's in the home when they break in.
You know, Bob Massey, to a certain extent, this is common sense. Now, we have these school shootings.
Yes.
No gun zones. We've had a lot of the shootings that have taken place that we have covered. No gun zones, gun-free zones. We keep talking about it. Now, San Bernardino, I brought this up as an example. Let's put Vegas aside for a minute.
Okay.
San Bernardino, school shooting. The guy drops the clip. How many times do we hear that? To reload. Are the people safer if there's somebody trained in the use of a firearm? I've always said schools ought to hire retired military or police.
Well, certainly, of course they should be, and they are, because if you're trained in it, you know how to defend yourself. And I think that's so offensive about this is these late-night celebrities. I wish some of the casinos would ban them for performing in Las Vegas because they have no reverence for what just happened here. And the other thing you cover so often, Sean, is wasn't there a period of time where the Democrats controlled Congress when Obama just became president? If they were that concerned about it, why didn't they do it then? And now they laid off on us all these years
Obama
later.
ignore Chicago, his own adopted hometown? All right, so in the information we got from the press just earlier, all right, so it seemed like the shooter, who seems like a ghost in many ways, all right, so he had long-distance rifles. He had modified them, but he also had handguns.
He did.
Seems like he probably wanted to escape and get away, would be my assumption.
Actually, they said, and I don't understand how he would have, but the sheriff actually said that there wasn't some type of escape he may have had planned. I'm not sure, based on the layout of that particular room or suite, how that would have happened. The thing that we did learn in that press conference was the bravery of that security guard. Because that security guard, man, big time bravery that probably really saved a lot of lives.
To get a hotel room on that side of the hotel, who knows? He may have tried to drive his car into the crowd and try to set it off and kill people that way. You know, we see so many different ways.
He described it as it would be like napalm.
Right. Well, you'd have
that was dropped into a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a really horrible death. But I just wanted to mention one thing about the gun-free zone.
I'm up on a break, John.
Okay.
Yeah, quick on the gun-free zone, real quick.
Well, I mean, it's hard to ignore these things. We have statement after statement for these killers where they may be crazy, but they know they want to kill as many people as possible. And they explicitly talk about going after places where they know nobody with a gun there is going to be able to stop them. Their goal is to try to kill as many people as possible. And, you know, we hear so many times...
Sick and evil as that is.
You know, we say so many times...
But I ask all these people, what are they going to do if somebody breaks into their house?
Exactly.
How are they going to defend themselves?
Exactly.
Would you rather be trained in the use of firearm to protect your young children? I would. Don't take away our rights to defend ourselves when you have your armed security guards and security guards that surround you everywhere you go because you're famous.